All right, folks, nice snowy day here in Colorado, as you can see. As you'll see the review, we'll make this quick because it's outside, it's freezing. It's only about 15 degrees out right now. So those of you that are in the warmer climates, we're envious because we have snow here in Colorado from time to time. But 2015 Cadillac ATS, good looking car. Really probably the best thing I can say about it. The car really does look good. This is the coupe version that we test drove. It does come in a sedan. The coupe is a more aggressive look. They've just done some different styles and lines on it, etc., to make the car look different. Love the lighting. Richard commented on that. He's behind the camera right now, my son, but really like the LEDs, like the way the lights work, the way the car functions. It's actually a very fun, user-friendly car to drive. Nice big brakes. This is a rear-wheel drive model. They do make it in an all-wheel drive model, but we drove the rear-wheel drive model. This car, as it sits, right around $53,000. It starts at $50,000. This particular car has a couple of options on it, one being the interior, just bumps the price up a little bit. This has the 3.6 liter V6 engine, as you can see, and they also make it in a 2-liter turbo. I've not driven the turbo engine car, so I don't know how that car works, but this 3.6 liter actually works phenomenally well, around 275 horsepower. Great looks, and as Richard commented in the short review, all the Cadillac styling, they've got kind of a V in the front, they V that back in the rear, they've even done that here with this, even the way that it looks down below with the dual exhaust and such. It just really looks well. This car, again, drives well, runs well. I'll talk about this as we get into the interior portion of the review here in a little bit. The only complaint I have with this car is it's a tad bit loud for my taste. And some of you are going to say, what do you mean it's a tad loud? The interior noise is a tad loud. It's got underpans for aerodynamics, things like that. I would have thought this car would have been quieter on the inside, but even my wife, as we were going down the interstate the other day, commented about how much more noisy this car is compared to some of the other luxury cars we've driven in its class. So just something to think about. If it's a big deal for you, it may or may not be. It is to me. I think the car should be quieter. Would it keep me from not buying the car? No, but I do wish Cadillac, you'd make the interior a little bit quieter. So with that, let's move into the test driving portion. The interior, with it being cold outside, we might cover that all in one fell swoop. We'll just see how that goes. All right, folks, we're gonna do the interior portion, and we're changing this up. We're gonna do the interior, the trunk, then we're gonna go for a drive so we can warm up because it's absolutely freezing out here. As you can probably see, my ears are about to fall off. Trunk on the ATS, decent size. You could probably get one good sized piece of luggage, a couple of smaller pieces, 2 good sized pieces, but for the size of the car, not a bad trunk room. It's actually fairly well. We went to Costco in it the other night, loaded up the groceries, etc. Had plenty of room in the back. That part of it worked great. Richard's gonna jump around to the side, kind of show you the interior, which again, this car's got back seats. Although my wife even commented, you're not going to get a lot in the back seat. You kind of flip these up and look. Even with that seat kind of back on that side, you can see not a lot of leg room for the person in the back. Doesn't mean you can't have a backseat passenger. It's just going to be tight for whoever ends up being in the back seat. I do love this chocolate, this dark brown, whatever you want to call it, dark brown, and then the black interior, the contrast. I really do like. This is a very good looking interior. Richard's showing the side doors where they've even got the suede up on top, and they've done a nice job. It has kind of a plasticky look down below, but up above they've trimmed it off nice with the chrome and the wood. It really does look well as far as that's concerned. So I'll tell you what, we're going to take a drive. We'll show you some of the infotainment system as we drive so we can get in here and warm up, and we'll keep going with the review. Okay, continuing on with the review, let's talk about some of the infotainment systems. We've already gone through and talked about some of the trim packages, etc. And by the way, we would normally put Richard in the back seat, kind of the way we've changed up the reviews, but I don't think Richard would actually fit in the back seat of this car. He's about 5'11", almost 6 feet tall, good-sized man, and he is not going to fit in the back seat of this car unless you put the seat that he's sitting in the passenger seat all the way forward. This has the Q system in it, which is pretty nice. I'm getting more used to it as I use it more. It's still, in my opinion, and Richard can chime in, but it's still a cumbersome system for me to use right off the bat. We drive a lot of cars, and most of the time I can jump right in, navigate my way through the through the dash and through what's going on with the control panels, etc. And this particular car, it takes a minute to kind of figure out what's going on. So it's one of those that you're gonna have to get the car, read the manual, determine what's going on. One thing I do like, if I can make it work, is you can press this, if I'm doing it right. There we go. And there is kind of a nice little hidden compartment in here that most people probably don't even know is there. So it's kind of a trick little thing, USB port that's in there. And this is the wireless charging station for the Cadillac. I don't know exactly how all that works. There's got to be some sort of a battery pack or a charge device that you would piggyback onto your device to make it work like that, because they don't come with that built in. But that's where this is built in. This is the wireless charging device area, so you can actually charge your iPhone wirelessly. You would just set it on this pad right here and it would charge itself. You don't have to plug it in to actually do that. They've kind of shown you in these pictures how it's supposed to work. You can't set keys or anything underneath it, but that's what this area is for. Kind of a cool feature. Touch it again and it should come down. Here we go. And that's that particular part of it. So we're back to the Q system. If you want to go to the home button, you hit that, and there is kind of a feedback to it when you actually touch that. If you want to go to the audio section, you would hit that. And we don't typically do this, but a little Robin Thicke for you. Anyways, nice sound system, sounds good inside. We don't typically show you that. I guess we could start doing that from now on. It's, you know, we got good enough microphone where you can probably hear that. So car works well as far as all that goes. The infotainment system, steering wheel controls very much like the Escalade that we drove and reviewed earlier. So volume over here, seek select buttons, your cruise, and as far as when you want to talk, steering wheel heat, all those things are on here. This car does have adaptive cruise. It has lane departure, lots and lots of safety features on it. Heads-up display, which is very hard for you to see. I might be able to show you. You might be able to actually see the heads-up display. Yeah, you can kind of see it right there. So there's a heads-up display. That's standard, by the way, on the premium level, which this car is. So too, let's just take a quick drive. I think we've shown you enough interior-wise. It's got a nice backup camera that goes with it, paddle shifters over here. This is a fun, sporty car to drive, and it shows you, where we're going to back up to, so it kind of tells you what's going on. That's becoming more and more standard, and will be, by the way, standard in 2016 in all cars to have a backup camera built in. So we'll take a little drive on this snowy Colorado day, and again, this car's fun to drive. It accelerates well, as you can see. Handles well, handles the dips and the bumps in the roads. This car actually works well, performs well. A 3.6 liter engine, more than enough power. Again, the only complaint that I've got with this car at all, and it's really not much of a complaint, is I do feel like the interior noise when you get up onto the highways, especially a concrete highway where it's not as smooth, the car interior is loud. Now, again, this is the smallest, lightest Cadillac that's made. That's going to have a lot to do with the interior noise level. So, Cadillac may not be able to do much more with that. I might be being too critical. Again, would it keep me from buying this car? Absolutely not. This ATS has been a great car. I've enjoyed driving it. It's a fun, sporty car to drive. Richard talked about in the short review the same thing, that it really is. This is a fun car. I enjoyed it. So far we've had a lot of great cars in a row, by the way. Some of you are thinking, man, do you guys ever drive a bad car? Occasionally we do, but for the most part, we get a lot of great cars. In today's world, it's become very, very competitive. It's hard to find a bad car. There's just bad car choices. That's why you've got to get out, get inside the vehicle, drive the vehicle for yourself, put your family inside the vehicle, put whatever you haul around inside the vehicle. If you work a job where you're out traveling around and you have to have certain things you carry with you, I'll always encourage you, set the car up exactly the way you would use it. That way, when you actually get that final car that you've bought, you'll know that all of your stuff actually works inside of that vehicle, because there's nothing worse than buying the wrong vehicle. I'm a car advocate, by the way. I think in a lot of cases cars get bad names because they're bought for the wrong reasons in the first place. Typically, bad cars really aren't bad. It's sort of like pets. Is there really a bad breed of a dog or a cat? Not typically. It's typically the people that have owned or bought that particular breed didn't know how to care for it, handle it correctly. Cars aren't much different, really, when it comes down to it. There's a lot of different cars, varieties, etc. Make sure the car fits your needs. You'll be a lot happier. You'll have a car that lasts a lot longer. You'll get all the miles out of it you want. Speaking of miles, this car averaged around 24.5 to 25 miles to the gallon. Not bad for 275 horsepower, and we drove this car pretty hard this past week, so to average 24, 25 miles to the gallon is pretty good. But hey, watch us every week on YouTube. If you found us on our YouTube channel, you know right where to go. If you found us on our website, go to YouTube, type in Drive Radio, all one word. You'll find all the rest of our reviews that are there. We have over 100 reviews up now on our Drive Radio YouTube channel. You can also catch us on our website, drive-radio.com. Listen to us every week. We are live 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here in the local Denver market. You can hear us anywhere you want, either online at 560thesource.com or by going to the TuneIn app right on your smartphone, and you can listen to us there. We also broadcast our shows live on our same YouTube channel that these reviews are found on. So with that, God bless. Have a great week and stay warm. Hopefully you're in a part where you are, and if not, you're staying warm anyways. Then we'll be back next week with more reviews. Thanks.